Hi, I'm Aubrey Adams. I'm sitting with a family in Pueblo, Colorado, who's been talking to me about what legalization has brought their family. One neighbor were growers and users of marijuana, that the smell and smoke would come into their house and into their backyard when they're playing with their three young kids. Another house, three doors down from them, was held at gunpoint and stolen, and the media suppressed that it was marijuana that was being stolen. So now the wife, she is a high school teacher in a Pueblo city school, and she's going to describe what has happened to her high school and her classroom after legalization of marijuana.
So I think the very first thing was just being in the classroom. And, when it happened, students were really vocal about, oh, this is awesome, this is amazing. And so it really turned into quite the discussion between me and them, I felt, and then just a select few other students. But no students really ever wanted to speak out against it or to share, because then they would be looked at as, you know, you're against us and you're different, and, nobody wants to stand out in the high school. The other thing is just teaching. You try to minimize the distraction so that the students can focus and they can learn and do what essentially they're there to do. And of course, in a high school, it's really hard to do with just their own situations going on. But when those students would get down to work and they couldn't because they had a headache, because they were sitting next to somebody that just reeked of marijuana. And a lot of high schools don't even have windows that open, especially when you have different stories. And so there was no air, there was no ventilation, there was nothing I could do. I mean, I remember having to turn off a heater, because just a little area heater, because it was blowing too much in that direction, and there were kids complaining that it smelled because it was hitting this one particular student. That happened with a fan also, because of course, extra ventilation going through the room, and I had to turn that off. And then just flat out, kids didn't want to sit next to other students that just reeked of marijuana, because they said, I have a headache. Can I go to the nurse's lounge? Can I go get some air? I can't sit next to this person. And so what do? You don't want to alienate the one student, but you don't want to, at the same time, force the student to sit by them if they can't focus and, deal with the smell. And a lot of kids can't. They can't. And I mean, that says a lot about their family, but it's hard to find that balance as a teacher.
And I have heard some teachers have described to me that they have to carry
Yes.
air fresheners in their classrooms, because
Always.
you can't necessarily help a kid or get a kid in trouble because they smell like marijuana,
Yeah, no.
right?
Well, I mean, if you suspect, there are things that you can do security-wise, but in regards to just the air freshener, that's a constant. That smell lingers. It stays. It doesn't just go with the kid. Once they've entered your classroom, it's there. It's just going to be there the rest of the day, and you have to do something. You have to put air freshener. You have to clean the desks. You have to do whatever you can.
That's just amazing. And this has all happened after legalization of marijuana. We did not have these problems before, and that's one thing that very frustrates me with all the narratives that the pro-pot people say, is that, oh, the marijuana was here. We've always had this problem. And maybe, I'm sure it was here, but we've never had the problem to this level before.
Oh, yeah.
And you can deal with it, whereas now you can't tell if a kid's using or if it's just from his home. Whereas before you knew, hey, more than likely this kid's using, and so we're gonna go down that route.
That's a good point. You don't know if the kid was using or it's because of the home they're living in. That's a very good point.
And then just another, and I know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it wasn't just our particular school, but that's where my experience was. My classroom was down the hall from two stairwells that, frequently reeked of marijuana. And the kids would say, why are you calling security about that? It's just what it is. It's just the smell. And they have been so affected by just the standard that apparently we've accepted now, that they just think I'm overreacting and I'm being dramatic, and why even worry about it, and they're going to do it no matter what, and blah, blah, blah. And I just was shocked. at the neutrality. Like, it's not a big deal. It is what it is, and if we can smoke at home, we should be able to smoke wherever we want. And honestly, I know that's going to be the next level. You know, that's where we're heading. How can you deny it?
There's a school in Washington State that has petitioned for the students to be able to smoke marijuana in the school because it's their medicine to treat their anxiety.
Oh, wow.
There's absolutely no proof that it treats anxiety, especially in a developing brain. So it's crazy what's happening. I mean, this normalization has taken over our country, and it's not a good thing. I mean, there's a lady up in Denver, she says, we don't need future users, we need future leaders.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've completely normalized it. It's affected us on so many levels. So you know,
need people to stand up against it.
Yes, and if you're listening to this video and you want to reach out to me, I will be happy to videotape you. You know, hide your identity so you don't get harassed, because you really do get harassed when you speak out about this. You get bullied, and you wonder why we have such a bully problem in our country too. I mean, you talk to some of these people that are using marijuana, they can't control their emotions, and if you speak out against them, it's like you're totally attacked. So it's another reason why not to smoke marijuana. We don't need to be raising bullies. Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.